Good evening, and welcome to the evening edition of Grace News, a partner of KFSES, Kindness for Someone Else's Sake Ministries. Here today, we have Titus Matthews speaking to our own very special guest, Mephibosheth.
To say Mephibosheth makes my tongue tickle. If you can spell it, I'll give you a nickel. Listen, my child, and you shall hear about a crippled son of Jonathan, so dear. Mephibosheth, Mephibosheth, came from afar, yes, from way down yonder in Lodabar. He stood before the king, scared as could be. He thought, I will surely hang you on a tree. Mephibosheth, what a pleasure to have you here with us. Just tell us a little bit as to why you were so scared when King David called for you, and just tell us a little bit about your history.
Well, you see, years ago, my grandfather Saul hated King David and was trying to kill him. But my father Jonathan loved him and as his own soul, and they became best friends. And they made covenants together, conversating about what they should do and what they should not do. Saul had been very afraid of King David because he knew that the Lord, was with him and that he behaved wisely. All of Israel and Judah really loved King David, and it only worsened Saul's hatred for him. Saul devised many traps and ensnarements to get King David, and that caused them to have a very tumultuous relationship. Many things transpired, and it was said that eventually Saul became David's enemy continually.
Wow.
Jonathan, my dad, advised David, advised David as to Saul's plans against his life and helped him escape. Many events happened. After that, and David even spared my grandfather's life, not once, but twice.
Get out of here.
Yep. Some time had passed, and the Philistines were fighting against Israel, and they killed my father Jonathan.
I'm so sorry.
And his brothers.
Oh.
And Saul killed himself during the battles. And all this and the craziness that happened was why I was afraid when David called for me.
Wow, that is quite a family story. With all that had occurred, I would probably wonder what the king wanted with me also. So how old were you when all this occurred? Were you born with your disability that you currently have? No. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say, I didn't want to make you feel bad by saying disability. I'm sorry.
Sorry. It is what it is. I wasn't always disabled. When I was about 5 years old, when the news from Jezreel came back, informing us what had happened and all the death that had happened to my father, my grandfather, the nurse picked me up. We were running, trying to flee the city. And while she was grabbing all the stuff, grabbing me, running through, she dropped me, and I became lame. So now both of my feet are lame. Since then, I haven't been able to do any work. I haven't been able to live a proper life.
That was a horrible accident. I am so sorry that happened to you.
Thank you.
But from what I can see, even though it was hard, you did receive many blessings. Can you give us a little insight as to what happened when you met the king?
Well, after they came and got me, I saw the king and I fell on my face. Then King David said to me, I will be kind to you because of your father, Jonathan. No, it is not anything that you have done or can do. It is because you are Jonathan's son. He said, I will restore the land of your grandfather Saul, the man who hated him. And in my house you will eat at my table continually. All for Jonathan, my father's sake. I couldn't believe what my ears had heard. I was baffled.
Quite a story. We are going to continue our conversation with Mephibosheth in a minute. But first, let's take a moment and look at an in-depth analysis at what he is really talking about. Wow is all I have to say. Such a touching story. Poor Mephibosheth was lame on his feet. A more thankful man you'll never meet. He could not work because he simply was not able, but he was fed daily from the king's table. God sent his son to die for us all. He will save you if upon him you call. To a home in heaven, one day you'll awake. And it's all because of Jesus' sake. Mephibosheth, any last comments?
Yes, actually. King David showed me kindness for my father's sake. And God has shown all men kindness for his son's sake. This kindness is called grace. 1 John 2:12 tells us that our sins are forgiven us for Jesus' sake. And in Ephesians 4:32, it states that we are to be kind, tender-hearted, and forgiving to one another.
Quote the scripture.
Even as God, for Christ's sake, forgave us.
That's right.
Now it is my hope that everyone listening to this broadcast accepts this grace, the grace that I have, this great gift of salvation.
This has been a broadcast of Grace News, partner of KFSES Ministries. Thank you and have a good night.